I thought it would be 3 times that obedience will cost him election. Wale Soyinka, welcome to the news, and please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post or juicy news updates, please click on the notification bell. Nobel laureate Prof. Wale Soyinka said he won the presidential candidate of the Labour Party LP P2B on the excesses of his supporters known as obedience. Soyinka stated this in a statement titled Media Responsibility on Tuesday, April 4th. Soyinka explained that he was misrepresented in the reportage of a Channel television interview he granted recently, rendering his mark completely unrecognizable. Soyinka said, "What I've read at least thus far this morning, extracted from a 1.5 long interview conducted a week ago with Channel television, brings once more to the fore the critical responsibility of the media in transmitting the spoken, even recorded word to the public. This is especially crucial in a time of civic uncertainty, when remarks are taken out of context, spliced into a new one, provided a sensational headline, distortions become stamped on public receptivity, and the central intent of one's remarks becomes completely unrecognizable. I denounce the menacing utterances of a vice presidential aspirant as unbecoming. It was a gladiatorial challenge directed at the judiciary and by implication the rest of the democratic polity. But what on earth has happened to me, to my even more urgent condemnation of physical violence inflicted on those designated strangers in Lagos in the lead up to and during governorship elections? This prejudicial selectivity is a betrayal of trust, and I find its contemptuous of public deserving. My critique of incipient fascism in the movement remains grounded in the indisputable evidence," Soyinka said. The Nobel laureate stated that throughout the interview he continued to stress that the final word was yet to be pronounced on the elections, that the mission renders the full measures tedious. He continued, "My rejection of fascism is nothing new. On 3 occasions, I was able to send a message to P2B that if he lost the election, it would be his followers who lost it for him. It was depressing to watch his lieutenant, a crucial position voice of a movement that has broken the mold. Whatever ideological learning is, Donald Trump, the ideal template for a burgeoning democracy in the nation? Is Donald Trump the ideal template for a burgeoning democracy in the nation?" He stated that he also remained concerned about the alleged complaint by him of people not following instructions. If words are garbled in recording, the speaker can be reached for clarification. Else, simply leave out the unclear section completely to avoid misrepresentation. After all, piecemeal transmission is legitimate proceeding as long as a part is not presented as a whole. I'm not a member of the Labour Party, so how can I be given instructions to become my role? How can giving instruction become my role? Like a number of others, I have admittedly contributed to the making of this moment. Going back several years, it is painful to have the followers of such a movement send its legion backwards and down the fascistic slope," Soyinka said. Now the thing is, what angle is it speaking from? He said some of the obedience ruined this election for, well, before I unquote him, they lost the election for him rather. That's the word he used. Now the big question is, how did they do this? Well, believe you me, some of them were overzealous. Is it by them being overzealous? Is it by them not taming their tongue? Is it by them not doing the right thing? Or is it by them, allowing the emotions to take the better of them? Because if you ask me, the one I know about would be allowing the emotions to take the better, to get the better of them. Some of them, the emotions ran, so they use the emotions, what's it called? There are times you are not supposed to use your emotions. They use emotions when it comes to talking. They talk from an emotional place instead from a place of logic. Yes. I understand that this contrast dealt with you, but you must remain very logical. And this is an election and not a war. Well, I think if you tell me the blame is not entirely on what's it called? On the obedience as well. The blame is not entirely on the obedience. The blame is not entirely on the obedience. The youth voted for him, but was cheated by APC, we know, as was the case in Abia and Enugu State. 124th what percentage will you call that? Exactly No more, no less. How did the evidence cost to be election instead of the one that voted for him in their huge number? That is why this thing now, we need to understand that where Soyinka is coming from. I'm just saying all the one I said. Is it because of the overzealousness? Is it because maybe they were reasoning from a place of emotion rather from logic? I'm just saying all this one. But I'll need to sit down and ask Soyinka himself for him to explain what he meant. And this thing that he complains the media does, they do it every time. You will see that you have a full interview, an interview that was as long as 30 minutes. And some people go and take some parts of the interview, give it another headline. And before you know it, waiting you know talk will become waiting you talk. Do you understand? And it is not right. We have today not people who want to do their job. We have people who wants to make money, who wants more traffic. Those days we had people who are genuine, who came outside and say what they saw. But these days, we have people who be say you could talk something. You will even be talking, you will be for these people, but they are going to put it in a way that you're against that particular party. You get? This is the same as telling the world that you did not vote for him, but rather chose the person you speak the same language with. The young people in this country have not even vented 5% out of the 100% of anger inherent in them, universally caused by politicians in this country. If you did not know that the presidential election was relatively rigged, then old age is not clement with you at all. Well, this right here is the problem. This anger, as in not able to vent anger. That's why I said I do not blame the obedience if that's the case. I do not blame them at all. These people have gone through a lot. They are coming from a lot and they're still going through a lot. They're still going through a lot. This country does not prep you for anything. That is why sometimes when they say serve your country, be a patriotic citizen, I ask how? How else? This country does virtually almost nothing for you. I'm telling you. The country almost, if you talk to them, they'll say houses before. Not be here then born me. We don't get to choose the country we're giving birth to. We don't get to choose the locality we're giving birth to. We don't even get to choose the family we're giving. We don't get to choose those things. You get? And then we come in and the country, we try to still be the best of who we are. They still try to suppress you. It's not easy. God bless you, man. I don't blame the prof. Either he's being biased or talking out of old age. If others like Professor Soyinka, who's supposed to condemn outrightly the misbehavior of INEC, is here saying they don't understand. Is there anybody that will not complain or angry about injustice? That is annoyed about the manner in which INEC did not declare Tinubu. My dear, I don't talk this thing before. A lot of people are coming and talking from their emotions, and you're not going to blame them. This country has messed a lot of people up. Now we be our own government. We give ourselves light. When there is no light, what happens? You pay for light now. People are not even complaining for paying for the light. Or is it the one that you get to pay for light, but you don't get to see it? You still buy your generator. Or you buy solar. You still do that one for yourself. You get yourself portable drinking water. You get yourself a private hospital whenever you're ill. You get yourself a car, a vehicle to move around. And if you start running a business all out of your own pocket, you start struggling once that, and after that, what happens? They collect taxes from you. The government does as much. It's like a girl that collects and collects in a relationship without even investing or even giving anything in return. Alright, on this note, we'll come to the end of the news. So thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come here next time, enjoy the rest of your day.